I want to bring these coilovers inboard more. So I think I'm just going to trim the metal here a little bit and maybe a little bit over here before I reinforce it. Yeah, something like that. Alright, I sort of just skipped ahead real quick. I pulled the motor and turns back out. I already made my turning mounts. Everything is good to go. So next I'm doing the steering rack. And for that I had to pull out the rest of the front subframe, which is now cut in half. There's the driver's side right there and the other one's on the bench over there. But before I left off, I was doing the coilovers in the front. And in fact, I could fit the coilover in a spot where I wanted it. I just had to tilt it inward a little bit and then it did clear the tire. So I already made one mount right here. I didn't do the other side yet because I'm waiting for tabs to come in the mail. So until that day, I'll get back to that later on. So for now, yeah, with the rest of the front subframe out, I'm just going to be cleaning it and grinding off a lot of extra metal that doesn't need to be there. Cut a lot of corners. This back piece needs to get cut off. That's kind of where I'm going to be mounting the steering rack. So I figure I just pull it all out, clean it back to bare metal, get all the rust off it, and have just fresh metal. I can do whatever I need to it. Alright, so back on the bench, I have the passenger side, front knuckle, front end of the subframe, whatever you want to call it. So a lot of this is going to just get trimmed off. I'm just going to flush it out, blend it in. I'm going to cut this off and maybe a little bit on the back. And then I'll support it in a different way later on with more metal tubing. But for now, I just want to kind of, get rid of these. I think it'll be fine if I just grind down a little bit. Don't really need it there. It'll give me a little bit more clearance too for when I do the downpipe and the exhaust. Because it does run right through here. This little fillet here, I'm going to fill that in with metal and just flush it out. Because that's where the motor mount sits, right over that. So just having that in, I'm just gonna flush it out. And then on this side, I cut a lot out, so where the coilover is gonna sit, it goes right here and it sits right up on here. So I have to blend this in, smooth this out, corner it a bit, and then probably do like a piece of sheet metal on the inside that curves or something. But it'll still give me enough room for the controller to move up and down. I have to get this piece out too. But I figure I'll get it all cleaned up and then I'll put it back in the car, and then I can try and fit the steering rack and make some mounts for it. But for now, I just want to get this cleaned up. Yeah, it's been quite a while now, and I got all of it pretty much smoothed out how I think I would like it. I just got to fill in this little circle here. But other than that, this side is pretty much good to go. I mean, I might go up in here and weld a bead here and there and clean up a bit. But then I still have to do the other side in here. But this side is taking forever. I'm getting like way too picky with it, but I think it's good right where it is. So I'm gonna move on to the other side. Alright, I got the knuckle out and the top mount out. I just have to get this bottom mount out, control arm, and then I'm gonna start cleaning up all this. It is nasty in there. Oh yeah, needs a good cleaning. Alright, so I just got this piece welded on, and it's always hard to weld this rusty metal. It just kind of makes pits and everything, but it's all globbed on there pretty good. So I'm just going to linish it back, smooth it out. For the most part, it's pretty much done. Finally sanded it back all the way back smooth. I'm just going to throw some paint on it. Alright, so I'll paint the back of this first, let it dry, I'll get some food, come back, flip it over, do the other side. And then at least the back, whatever, no one can see it. Yeah, I just kind of soaked underneath it because it is going to get wet when driving, so I kind of just like went ham with it. But yeah, look at that. That looks nice, huh? Sheesh. Let's not forget, I still have to do this other one too, which looks like complete shit. Alright, so I got one down. Got one more to go. I didn't do the control arms yet, or the upper arms, or the knuckles yet, but I'll get to it. And these are not like perfectly done painted yet. They're just primered. I still have to I'm gonna have to sand down some of the primer again to fit the steering rack. And a couple other bits too, but at least it's nice to work with it nice and clean, rather than all that grime. Almost there. I just have that little circle right there I gotta fill in, and I gotta do this front faceplate right there to fill in with my speed holes. it is, all back together. Front subframe is pretty much complete. Got the motor mounts back in. I shaved what was left of the front subframe, all that grime. I shaved it up pretty good. It's not 100% complete, but it's at least, it'll get me going to the next stage anyways. So next thing I'm gonna do is try and mount the steering rack. Now that the transmission and motor's mounted pretty cleanly, I'm gonna focus on the steering rack and the coilovers, which I already have one mount done over here, right there, and it goes to the knuckle. I still have to clean those up. I did not clean those up yet. Maybe I'll get to that next. I'll get those and I'll start the steering rack. I saved so much room, narrowed it up. Every little bit helps, but now there's enough room for an exhaust. They had a 3-inch exhaust on this motor when I got the car. I'm gonna dumb it down back to 2.5 inches. 3 inches is pretty big. I don't think I can really fit it. 2.5 should be plenty enough. So I just bought like an exhaust manifold flange, 2.5, and I can mark it up right down there. I can fit it. Other than that, we are golden. It's looking good. Pretty happy about that. Obviously, this is gonna come back apart again at some point because I'm gonna have to clean up the rest of this firewall. Probably cut it out eventually. I'm just kind of doing what I have to do at the moment. I'm not cutting any extra out that I have to, but in the end, I'm probably gonna cut all of it out.